Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Shipley Mods and Performance. So a couple months ago I went ahead and did a diffuser install on the BMW 5 Series. I think it went pretty well. Everybody seemed to like it. I had a follower that actually said that they got a website with a diffuser and they wanted an install video of their product to get out there. So they sent me the product for free. I'm going to do an unbiased video on how to install it, quality of it, how it looks, and show you guys how to do another install video on this one, see the differences. Alright, so as you guys can see right here, that's where the current diffuser's at. It has the quad tip exhaust on it, nice opening. It's got two main fins in the front, and then you have like the little two side fins where it cuts out from the exhaust area. On the new one, we have on top of the vehicle right here, right there. Alright, so it actually has four still pretty aggressive fins, but they're in the middle. They're not as bad, or not as big, but they're four of them. Then you have the two on the side. This is also for the quad exhaust setup. All right, this is actually same plastic, so ABS plastic as the previous one, but this is actually a high gloss finish on it. It looks really nice. Another thing to mention is that this actually has it comes in two pieces, so you can actually disassemble it, take it apart into two pieces, and then should make it a little bit easier to install. We'll see in a little bit. I'm probably still going to take off this bumper all the way just because I had like some zip ties and stuff like that on the inside before to make sure that it didn't come off. So we'll go ahead and take the bumper off. Alright, so now we're just going to hang this over to the side. And your bumper is free and clear. So now we will go ahead, proceed to remove the actual diffuser from the bumper itself. Give me a little bit of space to work with. So previously on the diffuser, I had to use some zip ties or some screws on the inside just to make sure that it stayed. Some of the clips, the tabs on them weren't very big, kept wanting to pop out. So we'll go ahead and pop these out. All right, so I got the old diffuser off. It's right there, as you guys can see. The little tab holes right here, and then it's just this little tab. Doesn't have a very big notch on it, so it sits up there. So last time I used some adhesive glue on there, as well as some zip ties on the ends. I drilled a hole right there, and then drilled a hole through the side right there to zip tie that on there and make sure it didn't come off. Didn't have any issues with the previous one. So it actually looked pretty good. It held together really nice. No issues. Super cheap fix with it. Not that it was a real issue before. It was just to make sure that it didn't come apart or start gapping or anything like that. So this Kies Motorsports one did pretty well. Held up. No fade or anything like that with the Arizona sun. So we'll set that aside. And then since people in my previous video about this were asking me about the sensor block on the back, and when I did, because I didn't really get to show it too much. Alright, so this is the rear setup without that bumper on there. See the exhaust tips. Alright, so this is that little panel back here that I was talking about. This is your little bumper sensor. I think it's for like your crash detection. The other sensors that we took off before, that's for your parking. So there's this little piece back here, some plastic. It's pretty strong plastic actually. You got a little sensor box right here. I didn't have to move this, but I did have to trim this little piece right here out of the way, just enough, just because the new diffuser, it cuts in right here pretty sharp, and just had to clear this out of the way. That wasn't a big deal. On the other side, slightly different. It had a different sensor block. They're not symmetrical. So I had to cut this whole section out right here because it wanted to come over like right here, basically. So I cut this whole section out, and then I got a zip tie right here, and I zip tied the block. Let's see if I can get it with the sun to the back right here. So it's up out of the way. Not any issues. It's not moving anywhere. It's in there nice and strong. But there is this little piece I had to cut. it's stiff enough it doesn't rattle or anything like that. There's no issues with it really. And you have the actual diffuser pushed up against it anyways, constantly having pressure. So no issues with it. Just letting you guys know that that's how it worked. Sorry about the sun. All right, so now that we got that diffuser off, let's go ahead and compare these two diffusers side by side when they're not mounted. Look at the little differences on them real quick. And then we'll get to actually installing the actual diffuser. All right. All right, so these are the diffusers. On the bottom right here is the old one, the Kies Motorsports one. I think it's like the phase 1. It's a satin black ABS plastic. The top one. ABS plastic as well, high gloss black. And I'll provide the link of where I got that below, or where you guys can go and get it. Pretty much really similar design, especially for the exhaust cutouts. They're really similar. The difference obviously is in the middle. The Kies Motorsports one has the 2 main fins right there, whereas this one has 4 in the middle. A little bit flatter setup on there. It looks like it should fit pretty well. This one also has 2 separate pieces, so this whole middle piece comes out, pops off. Might make it a little bit easier to install. You can see how reflective and gloss that is. You can actually see my reflection on there. Okay, so yeah, we'll go ahead and see it. One note is that it fits perfectly with the M5 series. For the M Sport though, you may have to have the additional tabs or extra piece on there. So we'll go ahead and see how that fits, and we'll look into it and show you exactly what all you guys need. So let's get started installing this. Okay, so fit looks pretty good so far. So for this, we'll work on one side and go to the other, get them all snapped in, see how well it snaps in. May need to add some glue or some zip ties to get it locked in really good, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this was being pretty difficult to begin with, but I figured out the trick to it. So like I talked about before, how it comes apart in 2 pieces, that middle section comes out. So what I did is I just popped it out. All it is, so on here, is that you have, let's do that right there. Yeah, so all you have is 4 screws, 2 right here, and then 2 on the other side. It's the plastic screws with that little grommet that just basically locks it into place, and then the rest of it is just pop tabs, or not pop tabs, but just snaps in. So snap that off, and now you just get this thin little trim section right there, and it makes it a lot more flexible so that you can actually move it. Because the main thing with this, what makes putting the diffuser on difficult, is that the bumper wants to flex. The diffuser does not really want to flex at all, and so it creates a lot of tension and strain when you're trying to pop that side in and then pop that side in, and they like to pop each other out. So this one I already started it a little bit, but flip the bumper upside down, and then you just line this up, and then they all just start popping in nice and easy. There's a lot more flex to it. So once I get those in, then I'll go ahead and pop the do the center section right here and get that in, and then put the new bumper in. So a little bit easier than the Kies Motorsports once I figured it out. The Kies Motorsports is all one piece, and it made it a real pain in the butt to actually go and pop them in, because they kept wanting to pop each other out. So this one might actually hold pretty well. So yeah, we'll finish doing the rest of it. So this is a little piece, a little bit flexible, so you just line it up. And I actually found it was better to start in the middle, because it has less issues with that. You just line it up, and then you just push in till you hear a little snap, like that. And you just start working across. So I finally got those in. They're in there pretty snug. One or two might pop out, especially on the bottom edges. So I'm going to go ahead, put some zip ties in each corner, and then glue them in just to make sure, so that way I don't have to try to pop them in when the bumper's already on, or take the bumper off and refit them again in the future, just because it'd be a pain. Don't really want to have to undo all this again. Alright, so now we got those little tabs locked down. It's time to put the actual middle piece back on. So this should just pop right back in, and then we have to use those 4 screws. I got the diffuser on, took a little bit of finagling, but got it on there. Yeah, it's just like any other diffuser, kind of difficult, but overall it's not too bad. So now it's time to put all the stuff back. So those are good. Now we got the 3 screws on the bottom, and we'll see how well those line up, see if it needs any adjustment or not. Alright, so this is the underside. So on the previous one, the diffuser bottom had tabs that stuck out. It actually went to these bolt holes right here where it mounts. So on the original BMW diffuser, the stock one, it's actually a 2-piece. You have the actual diffuser itself, and then you have a little piece that goes right here, mounts to those, and then it goes in a couple inches and mounts to other holes. Luckily I kept mine from the stock one from the first time, and still have, see if I have to install that bad boy or not in order to get it, because these will not reach. They're about 2.5–3 inches off, and you can't mount it into there directly, so you'll have to have like another piece in there. But that's a super simple fix to it. Overall though, so far the BMW looks really good with this new diffuser. The gloss black on it seems to match up with the stock black that I have on it, so it's almost like a color corrected paint match on it. It looks pretty good. The only issues that I have with it is that the quad exhaust openings are slightly different. So I had originally got my exhaust done after I got the diffuser done, and they fit it perfectly centered. And on these, there's enough room right here, but on the outside, it touches ever so slightly right there. And I don't know yet if that'll be a problem or if it'll cause wearing or rattling, and we'll see. I might have to switch over to the other one, but so far it looks pretty good. Nice look to it. All right, I think it looks pretty good. I like it. So I would recommend this product to other people to use. Now that you have an idea of what both of these diffusers look like on a BMW F10 535i Msport, and this is a 2015 as well. So I'll go ahead and button this up and put that other piece in there and get that locked in there. If you guys wanted to, I mean, I'm not going to do it, but on that little piece on the bottom where there's that gap, all that is just to make sure that that diffuser bottom stays up so it doesn't catch anything like air or anything like that and rip that stuff off. So you're just screwing that in there to hold it up. If you were inclined, you could use probably like some JB weld or some type of other glue and glue it, because all that is on the bottom that screws into is the bottom side of your trunk, and so that's hard metal with like a little sound deadener sprayed on there, so nothing really crazy or special. I would bolt it if you guys plan on taking your bumper on and off in the future, but if you don't plan on doing it like one and done, not taking it off ever again, you could glue that. You don't have to worry about that, especially if you already had a previous diffuser on there and you didn't like it and you switched it off and you don't have that little piece anymore. Or you could just get a little piece of plastic and screw that in there and make it work. Alright guys, so this is that little piece. I forgot to show it to you just in case you guys don't know about it. It's another plastic piece, original stock BMW. It still catches dirt and stuff like that, but these are the mount holes that the other diffuser automatically went with. and then the new one is like right around here, so it's just a couple inches short on there. So what I'll probably end up doing, since I don't need this whole piece and it doesn't have a section to mount these to it, probably just end up cutting this off right here and then mounting this, probably glue that right there, those holes, or get some other screws and screw it in there, and then just mount these up, and that'll be good. That'll lock it in nice and tight. Okay, so this is the little piece that I showed you earlier. I just trimmed it down. You see these are the normal bolt holes, and then right there is where I just pre-drilled the holes, and I got a couple bolts. So I'm going to bolt this piece to the new diffuser, and then once that's bolted in there, then I'll bolt this section into the actual bottom of the trunk, and that'll hold it in there nice and tight. Alright, so the diffuser is all attached. Got that little piece set up in there. Just bolted it together. Really nice and clean. Overall, I think this new diffuser looks pretty good. We'll see how it works driving around with it touching just a little bit on those sides. But overall, I think it's definitely worth the money, especially because it matches the paint of the BMW a lot closer than that other satin black. Although I did like that satin black. I guess it's just up to you guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, let me know what other videos you guys would like to do. And if you guys want to see me install some other products for you, just hit me up. Send me a Facebook message, or comment on the YouTube channel or anything like that. I'll be willing to work with you guys. All right, thank you. Bye.